Hey, this is Mike Turner, and this is part three, my final section of my Boise mid-year real estate analysis and forecast. So in the first two videos, I covered a lot of what's happening now, not only with real estate but the local economy. Um, Supply of homes is crazy low, like down 50% compared to last year at this time, and demand has stayed strong. It's pushed up home prices, and the question really is where's it going to go from here, right? So I'm going to cover that in this video and talk a little bit about some forecasts. But before I do that, I want to show you a couple more things. Uh, First off, I want to show you where the activity's been in Ada County, showing you where the most uh, home sales are happening, and the reason why this is and why that's important. Okay, so under 200,000 is basically non-existent. I did cover that in video 2 in more depth, but it's basically less than 1% of homes are selling under 200,000. Between 200 and 300 is interesting enough. Last year, 2019, had a huge chunk of the market, the biggest chunk of the market, and now that's fallen down to 16% versus 35 last year. And that's significant because it shows you that this market is really, I mean, there's demand here, absolutely, but there's just no inventory. There's hardly any homes for sale in this price range, and therefore it's just not as many home sales there. So that's been really significant as home prices gone up. More, fewer homes are available for sale there, and and so of course you can see that's shifted over to the 300 to 400 range. We're now that's close to 40% of home sales, and so that's the biggest chunk right now. Also interesting to note is the upper end market, the luxury home market, whatever you want to call it. That is up over 50% year over year. So and I've seen that in the marketplace. There's been a lot more higher end home sales. Let me show you in a different way, um, where this is illustrated a little bit differently. So the red here is the 2020 numbers, and these are the different price ranges. Let me move this guy up here. And so you can see that this has different price ranges down here, and used to be a lot more home sales in that kind of sub 250 market back in 2017, but as each year progressed, that market has basically disappeared. And now you can see the red, like this 200 to 250, just used to be a pretty dominant place in our marketplace. Has just, it is nearing the non-existent price, category like these other ones. And you can see how the 300 to 400 has really shot up. Interesting to note, even the million plus has gone up. Now, these numbers don't look big, like a big deal, but year over year, that is really significant. And up over, you can see your year over year changes is it's going to be a really high percentage change there. So, so everything's shifting up, and that's making this whole bottom section really tricky. I talked a little bit last video about affordability, and the one thing that's keeping that going right now is interest rates. Interest rates are still like crazy, crazy low, and it's making home prices the same as or home payments. Your mortgage payment is the same as it was in 2006. For even though the house prices are like 100 grand difference, maybe on 150 grand difference, because in 2006 interest rates were like 6 point something, and now they're like 3%. And so you can see they can almost be, home prices can almost double, but your mortgage payment is still very similar. So that's why people are still buying. That's why the market demand is still high, and so that leads me into where are we going from here, because let's talk about the rest. I mean, it's still August of 2020 as I make this video, and with the extraordinarily low supply of homes, record low of homes for sale in the market, I don't see anything changing as far as market home prices this year. Even if things slow down this fall, I don't see home prices dipping. So if you're waiting for that, I'm sorry. I think that's a bad bet. Now, what's going to happen in 2011? I mean 2021. I think that you know, obviously there's economic impacts going on through our economy, right? So a lot of people are losing their jobs, and a lot of businesses might ultimately fail because this COVID stuff is going on for so long. And so, yeah, we still haven't seen what's all going to play out right now. But in the housing market, in the Boise area, I can tell you that I think it's going to stay fairly strong. I mean, I'm not expecting that the home prices to continue just to go up in a crazy manner, but I don't anticipate a dip, and the reason why is because the Fed, you know, as in they're the ones that kind of control interest rates. They're basically keeping interest rates low, right? And so they're basically manipulating the market so it makes it easier for people to buy houses. Okay. And so because they're doing that, and because like the Boise market is already positioned with extraordinarily low supply, but there's still people, even in the worst market like 2008 when people are hardly buying anything, every metropolitan area still has a number of home sales going on, even though they might be half of what they were before, because you have normal people having to shift and move and get job transfers and all that kind of stuff. So there's always activity, even though it's less. And so even with demand drops, it's still going to carry us for many months. So even if demand drops in half today, by the way, July set a new record in pending sales, so that's not going to happen. And that's going to be felt for the next 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. Okay, so this year, is this going to continue its trend? It might slow down, might not be as easy to sell your house, but it's going to stay in this kind of hot to healthy kind of category. And so if you're banking on a lot of foreclosures coming down the pipe, right now, where I'm not seeing that, there has not been an uptick yet. And so, but I'm watching that because that's sure a sign of something might change. But even if somebody does get in trouble right now with their house, most people have some equity to unload it without having to go through foreclosure, especially if they talk to somebody that is helpful to them. So yeah, there's in the Boise area, it's just super strong. So my forecast for going into 2021 is that I think the market will, at worst case, plateau. Worst case as far as home prices go. I think that's worst case. And all signs are kind of pointing to, because that bottom of the market is disappearing. We used to have home sales here, and now they're under 200,000 and under 250,000, and that market's just disappearing. So I still think home prices on average might even creep up because of that disappearing low market. Hopefully interest rates stay low for home buyers, because that is the only thing keeping them in the game. And once that changes, everything changes, right? So interest rates play a huge part in what's going to happen to the housing market, and they're forecast to stay low. And if they stay low into next year, I feel like the market is going to continue on a similar track, even with all the negative stuff going on. Okay. I could be wrong. We could see something else, but I will keep watching it. And if anything does change that makes me change my predictions and forecasts, I will let you know, because I am watching this every month. And as soon as I see anything of kind of shift to the uh-oh category, I'm going to let you know. Okay. So that's it for today. I'm Mike Turner. Reach out to me with your real estate questions. If you're trying to make decisions about buying, holding, selling, I love having those conversations with folks. So reach out to me anytime. Take care.